Yo, yo, yo. This week on the X-Factor Sportz Podcast, Phee calls out the W for bad leadership. The Major League Baseball playoffs have begun, so we're going to tell y'all who goes to the World Series. And we got your first iteration of the NFL Power Rankings. Keep it locked right here. Episode 102 of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast starts right now. Jay Mondane of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast, Season 9, Episode 6, here on YouTube every Wednesday night. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow on all social media platforms as well. And anywhere you can listen to audio, you can catch the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. All right, so tonight we got a great show for you. I talked about it in the teaser. We're just going to dive right into it. Let's go ahead and get into these layup lines. And let's start with the WNBA, ladies first. Nafeesha Collier, all right, the leader, the captain, best player for the Minnesota Lynx. They were eliminated last week by the Phoenix Mercury to get to the WNBA final. And she had a lot to say about not only just the officiating, but about the leadership in the WNBA, meaning the commissioner. She talked about in an interview, in a presser, she had a long letter basically that she wrote. It was very well thought out. It was very professional, but also you can see her frustration with how the WNBA is being ran, whether it's financially, whether it's publicizing or marketing the players, specifically the best players, and trying to funnel all of their marketing into one player. So she was very open and honest about it. The rest of the women in the WNBA, meaning the players, backed her up. So I think it was a very big deal for a player of her caliber to speak her mind, because other players probably wouldn't have been able to have that voice. So to have one of your best players and leaders of the WNBA come out and speak her mind, I thought was great. So she basically said that there's a lack of leadership when it comes to marketing, when it comes to officiating, when it comes to taking a stand in general, that Cathy Engelbert, who is the commissioner of the WNBA, has poor leadership. And she pointed out a couple of examples where she talked about, all the marketing going into one Caitlin Clark or into like Angel Reese. And it wasn't any way to denigrate those players. It was just more of, this is the greatest league in the world, is what Phee is referring to. We're in the greatest league in the world. We have the greatest players in the world. And we're essentially putting all our eggs in one basket. And Cathy Engelbert is saying, you women, essentially she's saying, you women should be lucky to have a WNBA, that we give you the opportunity to play on this platform. All this tells me is everything that I thought was going to lead up to this point. These women are about to go on strike. Simple as that. They're tired of not getting paid what they deserve. Now, this is a separate issue, but I'm going to point it out anyway, kind of a side note, so people don't get confused. The women are not trying to get the same pay as the NBA. That's silly. The NBA is worth more money. So obviously the women can't get paid as much as them. For example, the San Antonio Spurs franchise is worth more than the entire league of the WNBA. So obviously it's apples and oranges. What they're saying is, for a collective bargaining agreement, they want to get paid like the NBA players do, meaning the WNBA or the NBA players are in a collective bargaining agreement where the ownership gets 50% of the revenue and the players split the other 50% of the revenue. The WNBA is saying they want that. They generate the revenue. They are the players. They make the league. They're saying they want 50% of the revenue share in the league, which I don't think is I don't think that is a hard thing to ask for or a hard thing to receive. But when you have a commissioner who feels like the league is alive because of me, essentially, with a collective bargaining agreement on the horizon, you're going to get players that want to strike. They're not going to want to play, one, for a commissioner that thinks this way, two, for a league that's not trying to benefit the players who make the league. They're about to start getting more games. They're about to expand because more teams are being created. By 2028, I think Portland will have a team. Philly, Detroit will have a team back. Toronto. The players have all the leverage, right? You're trying to expand the league. You're trying to get more games. You are trying to market superstars. You have incoming superstars from college, like a Juju Watkins in a couple of years. You have Asia Wilson, who's a 4-time league MVP. Like, history is being made in the WNBA. And the women, the players have all the leverage. So from what I'm seeing and what it looks like down the road, a strike may be coming. So y'all just remember that we said it here, October 1st, 2025. There may be a WNBA strike on the horizon. All right. Now over to the NBA. We still in quick news, but I wanted to get that off. So NBA, basketball is back. I know y'all love it. The NBA is back. Starting next week, preseason. They kick it off in Abu Dhabi. Actually, Philly and New York. The Knicks are in Abu Dhabi to play a couple games. I think there's teams in Melbourne, Australia. The NBA has always been a global game. I hate having this argument with NFL fans where they talk about the NFL is king. Okay, so the NFL is king in America, right? But there's a reason NBA players make more money. There's a reason that that basketball is a global sport. Okay. Once you leave this country, football is soccer. Okay. This is football Americano over here. So basketball is basketball everywhere. It don't matter where you go. It's a global game. Now, the NFL is trying to do that, right? They got games in Ireland this year. They've been to Germany. They always go to London. I feel like Jacksonville Jaguars' second home is London. They play there every year. So the NFL is getting to a point where they're trying to make the game global, but don't get it twisted. The NBA and basketball has been a global phenomenon for over 30 years, starting with the Dream Team in 92. So I say all that to say the NBA is back. Preseason games are going to start. Training camp is in. And then we got LeBron James entering his 23rd season. Okay. This guy's been playing basketball seemingly forever. I like that he has a good sense of humor about it. If you watch any of the clips of the Lakers or any of the media stuff, he even makes fun about it. Like, yep, I'm in year 75. You know, he kind of kids around with it, which is cool. He's having fun. The fact that he has the ability to continue to play at a high level in year 23 is a testament to his work ethic, his greatness. But I do believe this is his last season. All right. I told y'all that in the summertime. I'm telling you again, I believe that this is LeBron James's last NBA season. I could be wrong, but this is real talk, unbiased takes. I'm giving my opinion. And I have a strong opinion about it because LeBron James is big on narrative. This is the 23rd year. He's been all about year 23. He's been all about number 23. The LeBron 23rd shoes come out. His son is in the league. He's done everything that he needs to do as a basketball player. He is taking up golf now. He is a billionaire playing basketball still. He has other business ventures. He's trying to turn Uninterrupted into a big production company. I think he has a lot going on outside of basketball, which he always has. Don't get that twisted. But I just feel like he is a narrative-driven athlete, if that makes sense. And so retiring in year 23 is just kind of like putting a perfect bow on a career, a great career, arguably the greatest basketball career ever. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the greatest player ever, but you put his career up against any athlete other than probably Tom Brady, he might have the greatest career of anybody. So that's my take on that. I think this is LeBron's last season, year 23. They're about to pass the torch over to Luka Doncic, and life will go on. So that's what I got for the quick news. Again, the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. You can always catch us on YouTube every Wednesday night. We're on episode 102. So if you coming in late, you got 101 episodes you got to catch up to. All right, cool. So let's dive into it. We're going to get into the first segment, and we're going to talk about Major League Baseball, which kicked off yesterday. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a bracket up for y'all. And what I'm going to do is predict who gets to the World Series. If you remember, I did this for the NFL playoffs with our live show at Bogies, where I predicted the playoffs and who would meet up in the Super Bowl. And then I gave y'all who I think would win it. So we're going to do the same thing for baseball. I'm going to predict who gets to the World Series. And then obviously down the road, we'll get into who we think will win the World Series. All right. So we're going to start with the wild card. Like I said, it started yesterday, the first 4 games. And Guardians and Tigers. I'm going to go ahead and say the Tigers win this series. Even though they jagged the season by losing the division, I think they feel motivated. Tarek Skubal already pitched a gym yesterday. And I think when you have a team that's motivated, especially after losing a series, they go in the wild card round against a divisional opponent. The Guardians have the advantage because all 3 games are in Cleveland. But if you steal game 1, that's typically a good indicator you're going to close it out. So give me Detroit winning that wild card round and advancing to the next round. On the other side, Yankees, Red Sox, old school battle. Again, another divisional opponent. The Yankees have just been the better team all year long. They have the firepower. I don't think Boston will beat them probably at all. I think this will be over in short work. At least I thought it would be. But give me the Yankees to win the series. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Yankees in that one. Cubs, Padres. Again, 2 teams that were fighting, jockeying for position, basically to see who plays in a home game or plays at home in the wild card. Give me the hometown team. Give me the Cubs. I got the Cubs advancing, getting out of the first round, the wild card round. Then we got Dodgers, Reds. The Reds get in the playoffs by the skin of their teeth, but they played some good baseball. I'm glad to see them in the playoffs, but I think the Dodgers get out of that series as well. Too much experience, too much firepower. They're getting healthy. Give me the Dodgers. In the divisional series, the AL NLDS. So this is a 5-game series. So in baseball, they do 3, 5, 7, 7. So kind of like what the WNBA is trying to get to. In the divisional round, the teams that had buys in the wild card round are playing in this round. So as you can see on the graphic, you got the Blue Jays. I think they go against the Yankees. Now, a lot of people are probably leaning on the Yankees just because of historical presence, because of what they did in years past. The Blue Jays are new to the playoffs, this iteration of the Blue Jays. But I like the Blue Jays. They've been better than these dudes all year. And especially after All-Star break, I think they end this in 4 games. I get the Blue Jays winning 3-1. I'm taking them to get to the ALCS. And the team they'll compete against is the Seattle Mariners, who I think will have the reigning MVP in Cal Raleigh, had a historic year. The Mariners won their division for the first time since 2001 when Ichiro was a rookie, and now Ichiro's in the Hall of Fame. That's the last time the Mariners won their division, is when a guy that just got entered into the Hall of Fame this year was a rookie. So that tells you how long it's been. And they get the home field advantage. I think they're starving for a victory. Again, I told y'all, Seattle is a great sports town. I'm rooting for them. I think the Tigers run out of gas. They're going to put everything into beating the Guardians in the wild card round. So I'm going with the Mariners to advance to the ALCS. In the National League, The Brewers get the bye, and they go against a division foe, the Cubs. And the Brewers have had the Cubs number for the last 2 years. Playoffs, regular season, whatever you want to call it. I got to give it to the Brew Crew. It's not really that much of a home field advantage for either team because they're in the division. They play each other a million times anyway. And Milwaukee is 90 miles from Chicago. Like, they probably won't even fly. You take a bus to the field. So the advantage isn't really there. But the Brewers are a complete team that's rested and they're ready to go. You can throw all of the scouting reports out the window with these two teams. Like I said, they play each other 20 times a year, basically. So give me the Brewers. They're the better team. They're the best team in baseball. Almost won 100 games this year. And I got them advancing to the NLCS. Phillies, Dodgers. Phillies is the fourth team that got the bye against the Dodgers. To me, this will probably be the best series out of all of them. This goes all the way to 5 games. You got the star power of the Dodgers, but you have you got some star power and some experience and some offensive weapons in Philly. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Their pitching rotation is better than the Dodgers, and that's why I give them the upper hand. I actually have the Phillies beating the Dodgers in the NLDS in 5 games, getting to the championship series. All right. So what does that give us for the AL and NLCS? We get Blue Jays versus Mariners. We get Phillies and Brewers. Teams that you don't normally see at this point in the playoffs. But you got to reward them for how well they played this year. They've made it this far. I think they take advantage of having the byes. So the 4 teams that get the byes, I think, actually advance to the conference championship or to the championship series. In the American League, again, the Blue Jays are just a more complete team than the Mariners. I feel like they're ready for the moment. This series will be crazy because you're going all the way from Seattle all the way to Toronto. You're basically flying underneath and across Canada to get to these games. But give me the Toronto Blue Jays. I like the way they've been playing all year. I like the consistency in which they play with. The Mariners did get hot, and they clawed their way to a division championship, but I think it ends here, a great season. But I think the Blue Jays win the pennant, and they go to the World Series. So give me the Toronto Blue Jays over the Seattle Mariners to get to the World Series in the American League. In the National League, this is going to be a monster matchup. I think it goes 7 games. I think it's a grueling 7-game series between the Brewers and the Phillies. But I think the Phillies, again, with the offense they have, you need star power, you need home runs, you need big plays on offense to win games, especially in the championship series. I feel like the Phillies have more firepower than the Brewers. The Brewers are a team that finds different ways to generate runs. They can get on base. But I think with this pitching staff of the Phillies, the way that they are going to have this rotation going, I just think it'll be too much for the Brewers. Not too much in the sense that the Brewers are just going to get killed. I think it's going 7 games. But in the end, I think the Phillies have a better chance of going on the road to win a game than the Brewers coming to Philly to win a playoff game. And so because of that, I take the Philadelphia Phillies to get to the World Series. So there you have it. For my viewers that are old enough to remember, we have a 1993 World Series rematch, Joe Carter from the Toronto Blue Jays World Series back in the day. So Phillies and Blue Jays will meet in the World Series. That's my prediction. And if y'all remember back in the day, we used to get, when I was in school, quick story, when I was in school, we used to get pennants for perfect attendance, honor roll, like anything you did good in class, right? So back then, I had a Toronto Blue Jays pennant because they won the World Series in 93. I had Dallas Cowboys pennants because they won in the early 90s. Chicago Bulls pennants, like any team that was good back then, Pittsburgh Penguins, any team that was good or was a champion back in the day, if you did something good in school, you would get rewarded one of those pennants. So me and my brothers, we had those all over the house. That's how I remember the Toronto Blue Jays. So I actually liked them growing up. They are the Jays, so that makes sense. But so we're going to get a rematch of the 93 World Series, I believe, the Phillies and Blue Jays. Y'all lock that in. Let me know what you think. Yankee fans, get in the comments. Red Sox fans, Cubs fans, get in the comments. Yell at me. Dodgers fans, let me know what you think. This is who I got based on what we've seen this season, based on what I think will happen in the playoffs. It looks like it's going to be a collision course. Phillies, Blue Jays. Y'all comment below. Let me know what you think. All right. The X-Factor Sportz Podcast, again, is always on YouTube every Wednesday night. And throughout the week, you can catch the shorts of the episodes, kind of the highlights of what we touch on, hot takes or big opinions, strong comments. You can check those too. You can get all those on social media also. And then anywhere there is audio, you can catch the X-Factor Sportz Podcast too. All right. Okay. Now let's get into the NFL. So this is the first iteration of the power rankings. We have 4 weeks of football. We've seen what we've seen so far. And now we're going to break down the top 10 teams in the NFL. All right. So starting at number 10, this is just as big as a surprise to me as it should be to y'all. The damn Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. Surprisingly enough, I didn't think that they would even get to 3-1, right? Looking at their schedule, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Again, it's unbiased. And they played some good football. They went over to Ireland over the weekend, beat Minnesota in an impressive win. They had a great game plan. Aaron Rodgers has been playing decent football. And they could be kind of dangerous. I mean, you look at their division, the Bengals are hurt with Joe Burrow out. We're finding out who the Baltimore Ravens really are, and the Browns are the Browns. So it looks like from this point, at this juncture, the Steelers are the class of that division, and they're playing good football. So for that reason, I got them at number 10. At number 9, you can see the list. Green Bay Packers. They're 2-1-1. They screwed me in the confidence pool. If they would have just won the game, I would have won some damn money. But of course, the Packers always find a way to screw me. So I got them at number 9 in the power rankings, though, still, because one, they came out with a real impressive win on the Lions, beat them over the head in week 1. Michael Parsons still getting acclimated. The defense has shown some promise. Jordan Love in that offense has shown some promise. They got offensive weapons. Romeo Doubs is back. He looks great. They don't even have Christian Watson yet, right? Reed is out. The other wide receiver, they got a wide receiver machine over there. It seems like an assembly line of wide receivers that Jordan Love can pick people apart with. They look good. They play good football. One turnover or one bad mistake Jordan Love had is the reason why it went to overtime and why they had to kick a field goal to tie it, because he got a strip fumble in that Cowboys game. But overall, Green Bay looks like a good team. As it stands right now, I got them at number 9. At number 8, Seattle Seahawks. Again, another team. You got to show love to them. Sam Darnold went over there. They lost the first game. Now they're on a 3-game winning streak. Sam Darnold looks good. They won a divisional game, which was important. And I think he's starting to get these guys to believe in his locker room. And so they look pretty good these last few games. We'll see what happens moving forward. But right now, the Seattle Seahawks are at number 8. At number 7, and this team probably would have been top 5 if they beat the Rams. But the mistakes they made in that game, they basically gave that game away. So got to show respect to the Colts. Again, they're a top 5 offense. They are, I think, a top 12 defense. Daniel Jones is a top 5 quarterback. Jonathan Taylor is the number 1 running back in yards. So they got all the offense that you need, at least out of the first month of the season. You assume these teams will only get better. And so give me the Indianapolis Colts at 7. They need to fix some of the stuff in the red zone, and then I think they'll be a more elite team. But right now, they're just a good team. At number 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they lost a hard-fought game to Philly. In the second half, I mean, they held Jalen Hurts to no passing yards. So you can see the potential when they play against top-tier teams. They have it, but they didn't win the game. But the Bucs are still good. I think the Bucs will be really good. Mike Evans comes back. They get a lot of guys healthy, and I see them winning. They don't have a problem in their division. I don't see any threat there. But that defense looks really good. Todd Bowles, as you guys know, he always brings out a great defense. And they believe in Baker Mayfield. As many comeback wins as he has, you're always in a game if you got Baker and you got a solid defense. So I got them at number 6. At number 5, the LA Rams. Again, another victim of the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Rams are good too. So they had a great bounce-back win against the Colts, who was playing great football. 3-game winning streak. They snapped it, got them at home. Matthew Stafford can go off for 300 yards, and Puka Nacua can go off for 180 yards receiving. They have a bunch of different ways to beat you. And that defense, that young defense, is getting better every game. So you're always in a game with Matt Stafford as well, veteran savvy, and then Devontae Adams as well. So I like this team. They're balanced on offense. Stafford, if he can hold up, if he can stay healthy, this team can do some damage. So I got them at 5. At number 4, the other team in LA, the Chargers. Now, I know people are going to say, Jay, how the hell you got the Chargers at number 4 after losing to the Giants? Okay. They dropped one game. They flew from LA to New York and played a noon game. For all my bettors out there, I'm pretty sure y'all took the Giants at least to cover the spread if you didn't pick them to win, even with the rookie quarterback. But they just dropped one. They had a lapse. They lost the game. But again, this is a power ranking. This isn't about wins and losses. It culminates everything that the team's doing. And so you can't deny the fact that they are 3-0 in their division. In the first 3 games of the season, they played all their division. They played the entire AFC West and beat everybody. That includes the Chiefs in Brazil. That includes the Raiders. That includes beating the Broncos. So no other team in the NFL has done that. And so for that reason, and this defense is still good. They're elite defense. Justin Herbert needs to shore up some of his passing. But overall, they've started out as a good team, and that's why I got them at number 4. At number 3, the Detroit Lions. Again, they caught an L in week 1 against Micah Parsons and the Packers. Since then, they've averaged over 41 points per game. All right. The questions were, how are they going to look without Ben Johnson, right? Without Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, now the coach of the Jets. And after these first 4 weeks, they look like the same old Lions. It looks like business as usual, in which I was wrong. I don't know what the rest of the season will show us, but at this point, it looks like I was wrong. I didn't know if they would be able to sustain scoring the way that they have been. And they not only have been, they're scoring more. So 3-1 Lions, but again, they are one of the top offenses in the league, and that defense is heating up. I mean, with Aiden Hutchinson being healthy, the defense even looks great. And you saw that on Sunday. So for that reason, I got the Lions at 3. At number 2, and the only reason I have the Bills at number 2, I'm going to kind of combine these. The only reason I have the Bills at number 2 and the Eagles at 1 is because the Eagles find ways to win games and the teams they beat. All right, and I'm going to dive deeper into that when I get to them. But the Bills have been playing great football. This is the best opportunity for the Buffalo Bills to go to a Super Bowl. This is why I say it. The Ravens are not who we thought they were as it sits now. The Chiefs are struggling. They're not healthy. They're already behind the 8 ball at 2-2. So if we're talking about from a seeding standpoint, the Bills are already 2 games up on you, right, in the first month. So that gives them that advantage. They can take the opportunity to win their division outright get the 1 seed, get the bye, and then all roads have to come through Buffalo. So if they're going in that approach, and now they've discovered that James Cook is one of the best running backs in football, and Josh Allen is playing like a reigning MVP, when they need him to be Superman, he just says, all right, I got y'all. So because of that, I got them at number 2. The strength of schedule hasn't been the best yet, but they've won their games. And so you got to show love to the way they've been playing and how they're winning their games. You only can beat the teams that are in front of you, and they've done that. So one of 2 undefeated teams in the NFL still, Buffalo Bills. At number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, like I alluded to, they've beat 2 or 3 of these teams that are on this list. They went to Kansas City and won a game, which is not easy to do. They beat the Rams. They went to Tampa Bay, 100 degrees, where Jalen Hurts has never won. Despite him not throwing for any yards in the second half, they still find ways to win. It is a total team effort in Philly. And like the media and like social media and like people try to do when something good is happening, they always try to divide the team by saying, well, who gets the credit? Is it Jalen Hurts, or is it because he has all these weapons? None of that stuff matters. The fact that they have won 20 of their last 21 games, and Jalen Hurts has won like 18 games in a row that he started and finished, is impressive in its own right. Again, this is a power ranking. If we're talking about the most powerful team, the defending Super Bowl champs who haven't lost a game, if you combine last season and this season, they ain't lost a game in like 5 months. They're 4-0 now. They're beating the top teams in the league on the road, and they're finding ways to win even when the quarterback struggles. That's powerful. And so because of that, I have the Eagles as the number 1 team, right? So y'all go ahead and look at the list. Tell me what you think. We got Steelers, Packers, Seahawks at 8, and we got Colts, Bucks, Rams at 5, Chargers, Lions, Bills at 2, and then your number 1 team in the first iteration of the power rankings is the Philadelphia Eagles. In the next 4 weeks, we will find out, and we will see if this list shifts, who can get into the power rankings, who can get out. Y'all comment below. Let me know who should be in it. I know some players or some people that like Jacksonville may be like, why Jacksonville ain't in it? Again, this isn't about just wins and losses. It is about the team in totality, or the 49ers, or even the Chiefs, right? So comment below. Let me know what you think about the power rankings. We'll have another iteration in 4 weeks. All right. Again, you can catch us on YouTube every Wednesday night, the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. Subscribe and get on the podcast playlist, and you can catch all 102 episodes of the X-Factor Sportz Podcast, the good, the bad, the ugly, the hot takes, the real talk, the things you disagree with, the things you love. You can find it all on YouTube or anywhere you listen to audio. Cool? Before we get up out of here, we'll hit y'all with a 2-minute warning. And this week, we're going to talk about not doubting your worth. Okay? So let's stop doubting our worth. I'll give you an example. If you go to the store, a bottle of water is like $1, right? If you go to the gym, that same bottle of water is $2. If you go to the airport, that same bottle of water is $5. If you get on the plane, that bottle of water is $7. It's the same bottle of water, same brand, same 20-ounce bottle, but the difference in the value is based on its location. I say all that to say this. Just because you're in one place and somebody doesn't value you doesn't mean you're not valuable. You're probably just in the wrong location, right? So instead of in that place, surround yourself with people that know your value, okay? So don't ever diminish what you do. Don't ever diminish your worth. Don't ever diminish the effort or the hard work you put in. You maybe just need to go somewhere else where people appreciate what you do or appreciate your value. Just like that water bottle, right? You go to the corner store, you're going to find that same Dasani bottle or whatever brand on the plane, and it's going to be increased 400% because of the location. So don't ever doubt your worth. Just look around and see if you're in the right location and see if those people value you, because you may need to go somewhere else where your value is appreciated. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the X-Factor Sportz Podcast. If you like the gear, you can always hit me up directly, or you can scan the QR code on the bottom. It takes you to the X-Factor Sportz store, size, colors. We do hoodies, we do sweatshirts, t-shirts, we do hats. Anything you're looking for, hit me up. I can get that out to you. We actually got an order put in now from the 100th episode. Shout out to Snooch Customs here locally. We will have y'all orders in a couple weeks. I will be delivering them to you personally because all the people locally ordered something from the show. Appreciate y'all for that. All right. Again, thank you for coming to the X-Factor Sportz Podcast this week. Next week, episode 103, we will be deep into the MLB playoffs. NHL will start, so we got to touch on that. And then, of course, we will get into our X Factors for the NFL Week 6. For all y'all listening, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate Ms. D for helping out, as always. This is Jay Mondane of the X Factor Sportz Podcast signing out. Peace.